Artyom, when you left your home station, did you ever think we'll end up in a place like this? Not knowing whether we were about to save our world, or send it straight to hell.
When someone says the word survival, the first response game developers come up with these days is to give you a hunger meter. And not the fun type of hunger meter, but rather the one that lasts for less than a minute before the game starts notifying you that you need to eat again or you need to refill whatever meter is giving you, and will not stop pestering you about it until you do it.
Be sure to eat or drink when you become hungry or thirsty.
Survival isn't just about being hungry or tending to injuries. Even the most basic resource management can give you a true thrilling survival experience. And while I wouldn't really call Metro Redux a complete true survival game per se, it still has those elements that give you a most thrilling and most awesome survival experience. In Metro, you play as Artyom, a young man living in the metro tunnels of a post-apocalyptic Moscow. An attack from creatures called the Dark Ones one day leave him with no choice but to leave his home station and ask for help outside. And it is with his journey that both Artyom and the player get to learn just how dangerous and treacherous the metro tunnels can be. Because you see, Artyom has never really left his home station before, he was raised there. This creates a unique resonance between the player and Artyom, because this dark and dangerous world is as new to us as it is for us, so it lets us actually feel like we are in Artyom's shoes. His experience is ours. Speaking of experience, the metro tunnels are completely hostile. The environment, mutants, and even other humans will try to claim your life every step of the way. It is here where the survival aspects of the game really come to shine, because every single resource you use in this game, they count. You have to be wise in how you spend your bullets. Although you do have regenerating health, you do need to know when it is the right time to use a medkit before you get overwhelmed and killed. Human enemies will barely drop just about enough ammo to make back what you spent killing them. And whatever you need to do in the more polluted areas of the metro, you have to do that as quick as you can, because you have filters that run unlimited time and you can actually run out of those and will need to replenish them ASAP. And if you are fighting mutants, well, you better hope you saved up enough ammo, as not a single one of them drop any. These mechanics give the game and its darker atmosphere a genuine sense of dread. Because when you're not fighting for your life, you're going to want to explore every last inch of this world to scavenge for ammo and healing items. And you better pray no new enemies arrive if you are running short. It comes in small bursts and you might just find enough ammo along the way before you even start worrying. But it is a type of adrenaline rush that will make you feel like you really are fighting for your life. You really are fighting just to survive out there.
Alright boys, let's train to our friend Artyom, who goes right through monsters and anomalies alike.
But not everything in this game is about being on edge or shooting things like in your typical military shooter. Because this game actually has an amazing sense of pacing. In order to give you a break from all the fighting, the scavenging, and all the dreading, you can actually relax in the settlements of the metro stations from time to time, buy any ammo or resources you may need, and then catch a good glimpse of the post-apocalyptic world and how society lives in it. Because even in the most dire of circumstances, humanity always finds a way to keep moving. For a world that is full of death and misery, these little moments of humanity make you feel just how full of life the metro can be, and how there is still hope in spite of everything. Speaking of life and speaking of hope, the game actually features choices. Subtle and sometimes almost invisible, but they are all in there. Artyom may be a silent protagonist, but the world around him knows of his existence and will not hesitate to show you how his actions affect it. Because in spite of the silence, Artyom is his own person, with his own feelings for the dire situation he's in and the people he meets along the way.
Underground, it struck me that my city was now a foreign and hostile place. I felt safe here, in the darkness of the metro. More so when Bourbon claimed to have friends at Dry Station.
What kind of man Artyom is, however, will be entirely up to the players. You will find yourself asking questions like, does the kid starving deserve money? Should you have Artyom speak with his father before he leaves? Do you expect a reward for a good deed, or do you just do it because it's the right thing to do? These are the subtle little details that, on top of adding to the already immersive and atmospheric game, they also end up playing a big part on what kind of ending can you get. Because depending on those choices, you're going to have a chance to pick between the two main endings. But for the sake of avoiding spoilers, I'm not gonna say anything else about them, other than finding out about these subtle little choices become a game in itself, and they just add to what is already a really fun experience. Metro Redux is easily one of the best games I've ever had the pleasure to play. It may be a military shooter at its core, but the overall experience goes beyond just shooting things in the face. It has the depth and the atmosphere many great games are loved for. It uses the silence of its protagonist wisely, and its art style really makes you feel like you are in a post-apocalyptic Moscow fighting for the future of what is left of humanity, which in turn makes a lot of the more human and emotional moments in the game all that more powerful. And for that and many other awesome reasons, I am giving Metro Redux a well-deserved 9 out of 10. It does have flaws and some minor issues with stealth segments, and of course there are some minor glitches that carry over from the original game, but those really don't do much to detract from the experience. It is a fantastic game through and through, and one game that really did deserve to get more sequels and become a full-fledged trilogy.